The doctor calls me and he says it's very important, etc., etc., etc. He never does that. My doctor is not always the easiest guy to get in touch with. No matter how many times I call. I think it's there's one secretary for like 6 of them. I think they're just short-staffed or something. But anyway, email, phone call in the cell, phone call at work, call me, important, urgent. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking, shit, this thing is spread to my organs and I'm dead. So I call him back and he's like, I got good news and bad news. And he starts going on about, he thinks I'm in complete remission. It's clearly sugarcoating this issue. Because there's nothing in that test that would indicate anything that I hadn't seen before. The real test we're waiting for a couple of days for. So he's just trying to sugarcoat his bad stuff. And I said, okay, fine. When you get the real results, call me back. I want to know about it. And he says, by the way, we need to push off your transplant. We were going to schedule the transplant for, the 3rd week of January. And he's like, we gotta postpone it. And I said, why? He said, because there's a likelihood that you're going to that the chemo, let's start over, there's a likelihood that the chemo is going to make you sterile. So we need to, do something about it to get you to a sperm bank or whatever. And I was like, all right, well, what do we need to do? And he said, the Revlimid that I'm taking now currently, it mutates all the sperm. It just totally kills whatever I've got in me right now. And it takes 4 weeks to clear out of your system. So my most recent cycle, the 5th cycle of this medicine called Revlimid, is up on Sunday, I think. So it would be 4 weeks from Sunday, and then we have to do the sperm bank thing, and then do the transplant. So we're looking at getting into the hospital for the transplant like mid-February. So it looks like I can have a normal Super Bowl party, which I'll be sending you out an invite to shortly. I was thinking, it's like, how much more can you do to me? How many more indignities am I going to suffer because of cancer? I mean, I've taken everything in stride, but I'm just being emasculated. And it's like the future of my family is going to ride on, a petri dish somewhere. And that, a good chunk of my manhood is going to be, is going to rely on, going to a sperm bank and jerking off in a fucking Dixie cup. Like I said, I've taken everything in stride. It's like, how much more do you want to do? How much more can you take away from me to try to get me to, live? I don't get worked up very often. When the shit goes down, I'm always like the one to be there and, be the voice of reason and be the person with the level head and take care of things. I was once in in Brazil with a girlfriend who got food poisoning, and she fell down and cracked her face and put her teeth through her lips, and I had to take her to this like clinic in rural, jungle Brazil, and like, I had to carry her to the hospital, and she was bleeding all over the place. I was scooping blood out of her mouth. I mean, I'm the coolest customer when it comes to crisis. Ask anyone I know. I'm always the one to say, stop, let's think rationally, let's not rush, let's get things, together. There's just something about, being sterile, just affects me. For some reason that and the hair falling out, it's not anything major, and they'll have enough sperm if I want to have 1,000 kids, it's not that, it's just, the hair's going to grow back. I mean, these are pretty simple, minor things. It's just the indignity of it all. And that's like, it's your your motivation. All you guys that know me, I mean, I'm the men's editor for a website, written for all men's magazines. I take great pride in being like, the guy. And it's just, never did I think that, at one point I was going to sit in a hospital bed, bald, sterile. So upsetting. Poor cat's looking at me like I'm crazy. My roommate's cat. Anyway. It's not a big deal. It's gonna be fine. There's gonna be sperm everywhere. I'll get to go to the, I'm sure I'll write an article about it. Matt, if you're watching, Men's Health, he's my editor there, and a friend of mine. It's a great story, going to the sperm bank. Do they really give you magazines and movies? Do they really sit you in a room and let you watch porn until you jerk off in a cup? Is it a cup? Is it a bag? Do you have to wear gloves? I mean, it's just such an amazing story that I'll be able to write about. And at the end, I'm going to have to laugh about it, but it's just, when you're in the situation and the hits keep coming, man, it's like, what's your breaking point? And my breaking point apparently is 7 months later being told that I'm, probably going to be sterile for the rest of my life. I guess that was my breaking point. I did pretty good for 7 months. So, there's always a silver lining. There's always, something good that can come out of it. And there certainly will. I'm sure I'll get paid to write an article for someone about that situation. Speaking of, my cancer blog on health.com is finally live. Just go to health.com, and on the bottom right, well, towards the bottom, you'll see Poked and Prodded. That's the series of blogs about doctor adventures, and mine is the Cancer Diary. And it's also got a little YouTube player on it, so they're going to show my some of my YouTube videos on there. So it's a really cool thing. They're paying me. Not much, Scott. I want more. And so you can check that out. So as I said, there's always an upside, and I'm sure in a couple of months I'm going to laugh about it.